Mike, you're a firefighter with the Clark County Fire Department.
Yes, I'm a firefighter, paramedic, and hazardous materials tech with the Clark County Fire Department. I have been on for about 10 years now, and I've been doing hazmat for 8 years.
What is a hazmat team?
Hazmat team, we are a specialized emergency response team, and we are trained to mitigate hazards, both at hazardous materials releases and major catastrophic events.
What are the responsibilities that a hazmat team might have here in Clark County?
Our responsibilities as far as fire scenes go, we do air quality and explosive environment monitoring at fire scenes, also at rescue scenes for confined space, below grade rescue. We do that stuff in conjunction with the heavy rescue team. And we also have additional responsibilities at hazardous materials releases where we provide that monitoring, spill containment, hazardous materials release mitigation, decontamination, and we work with several other agencies in the Valley that help us complete that task.
Could you describe some of the incidents that have occurred here in Clark County?
Some of the major recent incidents that have happened in the last 20 years or so, there was the Pepcon explosion in '98 and the Pioneer chlorine release in '91. Both of these were major incidents that either killed people, put people in the hospital, or it made us evacuate people, had people sheltered in place. They were major catastrophic events that were basically the impetus for having a hazmat team in the Valley in the first place.
How does having one team in the Valley affect the safety of the Clark County residents since they've shut down Clark County's hazardous materials team?
Having only one team in the Valley really puts our residents at risk. Just as an example, there was a call the other day at one of the major hotels. They had offloaded some chlorine from a truck into their tanks, and they loaded it into the wrong tank. They actually loaded it into an acid tank, and of course those two chemicals react together. They cause noxious fumes, and they needed a hazmat team to mitigate that hazard. The city hazmat team was the only team to respond to that incident. We were, of course, shut down and unavailable to respond, and they were on scene for 9 hours. And the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is that hazardous materials releases are some of the most major time-consuming and costly events that happen in the Valley. And when something like this goes down, it takes more than just one team to respond to these incidents.
How has the Clark County Fire Department hazardous materials team prepared for a terrorist incident?
Actually, the citizens of Clark County have been pretty lucky up until this point. The Clark County Fire Department Hazardous Materials Response Team is probably one of the most diversified and experienced teams in the country. All of our people are trained to either the technician or the specialist level, and since the events of 9/11 we have had additional federal training for chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and explosive events. We also conduct local training with other emergency response teams in the Valley. We conduct training with the City of Las Vegas Hazmat Team, Metro's Armor Team, and there's an Army National Guard team here as well. And because of this training, we have the ability to respond and work together seamlessly on these types of incidents.
Mike, what other dangers exist here in Clark County regarding hazardous materials?
There are probably hundreds of hazards that people don't even think about. The hotel industry, for one, cold storage and food preparation facilities, they are strewn throughout the Valley, and the two biggest hazards that we face here in the Valley as far as chemical releases are chlorine and anhydrous ammonia, and those types of facilities all have those chemicals. There's still the BMI complex out in Henderson. That was the site of the Pepcon explosion and the Pioneer chlorine release. They still have operations out there that contain thousands and thousands of hazardous chemicals. We have the chemistry lab at UNLV. Nobody really thinks about that, but there are thousands of chemicals stored there. Students It's right in the middle of campus. It's right in the middle of the city. There could be any type of hazardous materials released there. Our hospitals contain hazardous materials and radiological sources. The railroad and highway system transport chemicals through our valley every day. Thousands and thousands of gallons of it are on our roadways.
Mike, I appreciate your time. Thank you for speaking with us.